Welcome to the Impact Effect podcast. We have an outstanding guest this week. And when I say outstanding, I truly mean it. This gentleman has just had so much positive impact on me, and we've only known each other for a short period of time. So I want to welcome Mark Cleveland to the show. Welcome, Mark.
Glad to be here, Jim.
Yeah, it's going to be a good conversation, man. I'm fired up.
I'm in the red seat, so it better be hot.
Let's go. In true Impact Effect fashion, we start off with the same question. How do you define impact and show up in the world and provide positive impact today?
That's a great question, and I should have been better prepared for it. But I think it's a real simple answer. Every minute of the day, if I'm doing on the outside what is internally aligned with who I am on the inside, then I am having impact because I'm just here to express and learn and gain the love and experience of this world and contribute to it and just be myself. And so that means showing up in the first place. I think lots of people are kind of disconnected or running from fear or whatever it is that's pushing me in my own past. As I look back at it, I was chasing something, or I was trying to shape something, and instead I'm just going to be. And it allows me to have impact when I show up, and showing up is the whole point. Lots of people have bigger impact on something that's important to them. I just want to have positive impact on what's right immediately in front of me. They're living in the right now. And in right now, can I do something that is aligned with my identity and is expressed out here in the 3D world? And if I can do that, that's a win, just one moment at a time.
I love that, man. Well, you said you weren't prepared, but what a well thought out answer, man. And I think it's because you live that.
I'd like to believe that I'm experiencing the ease of life and being in the flow feels different than I'm in the hustle culture, I'm making it happen. That thing that I just clinched into and identified with for so much of my life, it meant everything felt like a struggle, or everything felt like a contest, or everything, a win, we've all got to win. I get all that. But it's just a whole lot more fun to relax, let the Lord bring you the experiences, the lived experience that we deserve, that is a part of the plan, and just relax.
Were you someone that was in the hustle culture? Did you ever experience burnout? Like, why did this transformation or expansion, I would more call it, happen to you?
I caused more burnout than I experienced. My brother told me once, you're a carrier, not a sufferer.
Wow.
And I think that I can push myself harder than most people are capable of, and even past what I'm capable of. And I'm just not sure why that's important anymore. So burnout just expresses itself in so many different ways.
I've never heard the carrier part. Like, you got me looking inward on myself now. I'm like, man, because I've burned out, but usually to your point, it's like, what's the issue? What's wrong? Like, let's keep going. Let's keep moving. And now I'm starting to more tune in and ask more questions, but like, I might have been that.
You might be a carrier
more recently too, Great.
How does that feel though? How does that make you feel when you resonate with something?
For me, that carrier doesn't feel good. I don't want that on my team. I don't want to be that person. I want to raise the bar and help you get there. I don't want to cause a negative impact, which in then turn causes you to burn out and not communicate.
Yeah.
Because I think communication is the key to that. And I grew up in the corporate world before I came in entrepreneurship, where it was shut up and get it done.
Yeah.
Like, no excuses, no complaints. Your ass is in the grass. You're fired. You're out. Right? And that's what I was built in my 18 when I took my first management job, 20 when I was my first director in a company, and that's what I live. So I don't agree with it at this stage in life, but I've definitely been the cause of probably some burnout for some people, for sure.
Yeah, the corporate ladder is an addiction system, and we buy into it by trading the sense of security, I think maybe a false sense of security, for predictability.
Yes.
And then, of course, we go into somebody else's structure. And there's people there designed to put structure around what you're doing. And that works great for people who really need structure. But as you grow and evolve, you start to realize chaos is a real important part of life. And there is no order without chaos, and there's no chaos without order, right? And so you just have to dance between the exploration and the excitement and the unknown and the talents that you got to just reach deep inside and pull from within to apply to this moment, which is feels really chaotic, and to try to say, yeah, let's just leave this chaotic. It doesn't matter. Or let's find the right injection of order because it's where we get the most impact. And let's just not try to order the whole universe. Let's not try to boil the ocean. Let's just select our battles. I think I've gotten more selective.
Yeah.
Yeah. I call it the hustle culture. I call it hustle culture because so many places that you look at, you get encouraged to hustle, hustle, hustle. I like people who are hungry, humble, and smart. But if you're just hustling, you could be stupid and you could be not smart and just a hustler. Hungry to me is a drive that comes from within, and it's not something like you got to hustle or you're gone, Jim, kind of a message. So I just feel there's a little bit of wisdom that's emerged as I've gone through my own transformation.
That culture, where do you think that came from?
I think it's a Western injection. It's been here for a long time. I mean, if you sort of go back and where did the Euro influence come from? It was all the dreamers and misfits and people who had ambition and were willing to go West, young man, kind of an attitude. The whole country, today's immigrants that are coming here for a better life, they're working really hard. This country is not complacent in its DNA. So we're likely to buy into the hustle culture message because it's a part of our DNA, I think. Just to oversimplify it, there are no lazy people. There's just people who are not motivated to do the thing you want them to do when you want them to do it. That sounds like manipulation to me and not a criticism of that person and their motivation. So we've just been running around trying to inject hustle language. I think we're really good at it. Lots of people just don't feel adequate unless they're doing something. And we could all just hang out and talk and really enjoy space that we share right now. And why would we hustle?
When you left that world and kind of came into this new expansion or new mindset or new shift, whatever you want to call it, how did that feel? Did you feel like you didn't have worth because you weren't hustling in that transition? Did you have to kind of work on your inner as well in that?
Yeah, I'm not sure there was any one specific moment. I think it was a combination of things where just the price I recognize the price I'm paying for this outcome or this result doesn't feel good. Why it doesn't feel like it's enough? Why is everything never enough? Have you just like stop? That was maybe a beginning point for a part of it. Another part of it was, falling in love. Another part of it was surrender.
Surrender.
Yeah.
That's, I think, I'm newer to this journey that you're discussing, but surrender was the first step for me. I was just so tight and just, if I don't make it happen and put it in this bracket and this time or this hole or this gap, like, then it's all going to fall apart. And when you finally just let go and breathe and just show up and look inward and like, I'm cool, I'm good, it's okay. Like that was tough for me, man. That was really tough for me.
So in my own journey, I'm really trying to find one thing that I could do every day that scares me. And where is the edge of my comfort? And why does that edge exist? And what lack of self worth or what lack of confidence, what existence in lack is enabling that limit to exist in the first place? And then just keep on exploring and discovering. And it's a whole lot more fun than just, I know this trail really well and I'm going to hike this exact same trail for the next 40 years. I'm a career guy. I'm going to get a gold watch. I mean, I don't think the current generation's buying into any of that. And I'm glad. I'd like to be a part of leading that conversation where we're asking ourselves, how much is enough? I am enough. I am loving awareness, and just focus on those 4 words. Live in the present, live in the moment. Whatever I'm worried about isn't happening now. Whatever pissed me off in the past and I carry an anchor with me, I can let that go because it's not still happening. All the time I've spent in future planning, you know what I'm really, really, really good at? Dealing with situations that occur and are live and are happening right now in the moment. I am skilled. So I no longer live in fear of what may or may not happen the way I thought it should or shouldn't happen. I just settle in, and this is worth responding to. That's not. This is chaos. I'm going to let it be. This was on my plan, and these other things that happened were not a part of my plan. Isn't this great? So I just let go, I think, of my superpower is planning everybody else's life and the direction of everything.
I know you're speaking right to me, man, right to my soul with this stuff. Like I'm just running through scenarios, trying to actively listen because I don't want to like go off into space. But like as you're saying it, I'm like, ding, ding, had that thought, that's happened, had that thought, had that thought. I just said to someone this morning, 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, she asked me, how are you doing? And I said, I'm living in the wild.
I like that.
And she's like, what does that mean? I said, well, every day is wild right now. Like, it's just wild, right? I've got 2 small kids. I've got 2 businesses. I'm still trying to grow my brand. I'm trying to fit in speaking, even though I've dedicated only 20 nights away from my family this year. That was my major number 1 goal for the year. So I'm trying to fit that in. I'm still trying to build my brand. I'm still doing my thing. Marketing company's blowing up, right? Like, we got all this stuff going on. And it's wild because I am fitting it all in because it's all things I love.
Yeah, awesome.
Right? I am not giving in to this thing called work-life balance. I'm building integration. And integration takes boundaries. Integration takes some planning. Integration takes mistakes. Integration takes a lot of communication with my wife. And it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to keep it all intact. But I sit there and I think through it and I say, well, if I'm prepared for chaos tomorrow, then it becomes controlled chaos. If I'm not prepared for it, or if something happens and I lose my shit, or you know what I mean? Like it actually inflects in me. That's when the problem typically happens. That's when I don't have control over my emotional operating system. And if I can control my emotional operating system based on the beliefs that I've created and the values of who I am and what I want and what I'm doing and who I'm becoming, then I have control over that chaos. So yes, it's wild, but I like to call it controlled chaos because I know it's coming. Like everything that's happening to me has happened before. In business, I've had a cash flow issue before, or a client didn't pay, or someone closed their business I was consulting for, or like a partner robbed them, right? Like all these things have happened in one way, shape, or form in my 35 years of existence. Why do I think it's not going to happen again, or some formation or some tweak of it isn't going to occur? It is going to occur, and I still learn, and I still have boundaries, and I still have discernment, right? But like, it never dwindles down to those chaos or those moments never happening. It just happens differently, or it happens with the right people rather than the wrong people.
Or your attitude in receiving and observing chaos has softened. And I think control is an illusion. I think the word control is pretty much a worthless word. It's just an illusion. You're not in control of anything. Your higher self and the universe, which is giving you opportunities to learn, and then sending you another opportunity to prove that you learned your lesson, and then another opportunity to prove that you've learned a lesson. I think these are gifts. There's just a constant flow and stream of gifts, even the things that are incredibly difficult, because they are the thing that you have to achieve in order to recognize that you are in a state of joy, or that you have achieved even peace, stillness, achieved a higher awareness of yourself and how you interact with the rest of the world. These are the chaos that we both used that word a bunch today. The chaos or the challenges, the obstacles are the gifts that remind you to stay and be centered where you are in your superpower at all times.
It's what a great way to put it, man. Wow. What a great way to break that down. Because I was thinking through, I'm like, you have so many people that want that. How do you do that, though? Right?
People that want that?
I think people want to have that perspective on chaos, to have that perspective when things are uncontrollable, to have that perspective when things are falling apart. And I think it's just really hard for a lot of people to get there.
Falling apart compared to what?
Yeah.
You know, I'm successful compared to what?
Yeah.
I failed compared to what? I'm just in this mode of I'm not comparing to anything else. If I say that this moment is chaos, compared to what? Compared to Mogadishu or, some other form of chaos that exists in the world? This isn't on my plan. My plan was ordered, but this isn't that. And I'm disappointed. I've invested so much energy into what it's not. I've failed to appreciate what it is. It's not in my plan. Now I'm upset about it. Now I'm wasting energy. You said something I thought was really interesting earlier here. Boundaries. You have to have boundaries. And I have been exposed to a definition of boundaries from my wife, Jenny. Boundary is the limit to which I can go and love myself and you at the same time.
Wow.
So as soon as I leave my love of myself, or I am not able to express and be in love with you, then we have crossed a boundary. And that's the greatest distance that I can go and achieve those two objectives simultaneously. Self-love is a thing most of us miss while we're trying to, tolerate people we love or whatever that might be.
Yep.
I love the word boundaries. I find that it's not a very well-defined word. I think when I receive that word and I watch most people use it, it's like, this is the edge, this is the law, this is the boundary, this is yes, this is no. Oh man, everything is so much more gray than that. And when you get right up to it, I'm still in love with me, I'm still in love with you.
We're good.
We're good. And I'm still in love with myself and this job, this task, this client, this environment. I'm going to spend my energy influencing positively without the illusion of control.
Yeah. It's a great way to put it, man. Absolutely. I mean, fantastic. Wow. I've been focused.
You get 62 years. Yeah. You got 30 some years to go, brother.
But I think it through because boundaries have been something that's been on my mind. I've never actually focused energy around it. So I've always floated through. And when I realized if there's two things that are important to me in business and life, like the why statement, right? We've all heard that. And then the brand promise, that anything I'm attached to. And those two things are very similar, right? The brand promise is the North Star. The why statement is why I have a North Star. Okay. And I think for me, when I come into anything, business, life, I want those two to be aligned. And when those boundaries are broken is when I'm getting off of that North Star. I never thought of it from a perspective of loving myself and then loving that other person when those don't align, when those are broken, when those are distant. So as you were saying that, I'm thinking it through and I'm like, wow, that might be one of the missing pieces, because what I was doing from a boundary perspective, and it didn't line up. Like I've been stumbling through this. I've actually been talking about it a ton on the morning show that I do, the Rise and Energize show online. And those boundaries are occurring, and I know why, but I'm having a hard time putting exactly the criteria or the framework, or similar to what you're saying, like hard boundaries, like I'm struggling with that, right? Because things are different and people are unique and my emotions change and their emotions change and people show up differently and there's different ideation around all the things. And then you had said earlier about, you were talking about energy, and I brought these two together of like, when I am in a decision-making process of low energy, like these things that are happening that I don't need to make decisions on or I don't need to be involved in, that starts to hurt the love I have for myself. And then I also realize those boundaries are when my energy drops. So if you're someone, and we hung out the last 3 times, and this is not the case to anybody listening, it's actually the opposite of, I'm going to use Mark as an example, but say we hung out and I just was drained and I was having conversations about things I didn't enjoy, and or you're going one way and I don't agree with it, and maybe we didn't know each other super well, so I'm like trying to figure out, is this person's heart? Is this just their head? Is this just one scenario?
But look at all those things you're trying to figure out in a conversation like that. Is he being authentic? Is this a real conversation? Do I want to be in this conversation? Look, your mind is just like, bop, 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 bop. And it would just be easier if you just observed and let whatever it is happen. I mean, there's no life and death situation that we're talking about here.
True. But what happens is I tend to not love myself because I regret the time I spent with that person.
Oh.
And it's not so much the time anymore for me, it's the energy. Right? 2 kids, 2 businesses, events, speaking, all this, like, the time doesn't matter. I don't live on a 24-hour timetable anymore, right? Like, I just don't. It's like, this needs to happen, and I'm going to do this or this. Like, there's no weekends in my life. There's no days off. There's no days off. There isn't on anything I do right now. And I enjoy that, actually, because I'm doing the things I love. But it's the energy that I regret sometimes of, like, my gut told me to maybe not spend an hour or connect with this person or not have coffee. I didn't listen to my gut. I went there, I did it. They drained me. It was someone that I wouldn't align with. And I've done it to where I've protected myself and I've walked away from people in conversations. It's a little hard when you have a one-on-one coffee meeting. But I've also ended those meetings shorter than I typically would.
Mm-hmm. Energetically depleted.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you maybe meet an energy vampire and they finish the job. But you said they drain me. Nobody drains you. You drain yourself. It's like a negative, like a battery is fully charged. And if you tap the negative and let it just drain out, it just takes one connection to do that, right? If you complete the circuit, you're going to power something. You're just maybe identifying one of the things that everybody suffers from, which is some form of a regret for something. And you're saying it's not the time, but it's the energy. So I just lost my shit the other day. I swear I haven't done this for a long time, but I was.
How long? Like a week or like 5 years?
No, it's been years. It's been years and years, but I had laid out a business plan. I decided I was going to go do something. I got to the point where I'm done. And then so many hopeful, optimistic reasons why we should continue to do something. And I'm investing time, I'm investing energy. I've already mentally decided this is over with. And yet I want to support another group doing something that's consistent with the vision. And wouldn't this be great if it continues to live? And I was at war with my resolution that I'm no longer spending time or energy or money or effort on this, and my innate programming and nature to try to always find a way for the win, for everyone to come out winning. And that's my programming or my nature. I'm not quite sure which. And my war was, I'm done. And it took me 2.5, 3 years to actually get to the point where I'm done meant I'm done. So then we go into this next universe where I'm not done, right? So I'm really mad at myself. And then a circumstance showed up that shouldn't have showed up. And one of the things I try to do is I try to telegraph, like, if this happens in the future, I will not react very well to that. So let's make sure that we are avoiding, addressing, speaking to, and ending this line of thinking or line of conversation as it's over with. I'm really pretty clear at that. So I draw good boundaries. I'm not going past this boundary for myself. But every time I violate my own boundaries and I go a little bit further than I should, I'm like, I abandoned myself. I let somebody else train me. I let somebody take my time or my energy. So I'm the one accountable for that, not the other person. And man, it's probably an AI YouTube video recording that I will hope dies forever, because I was just absolutely furious. I haven't been ferociously furious for a long time, but I know I have it in me. That's a skill. That's a habit. That's something I'm not proud of. What is that? That's a thing that is tapping a little shadow in me. And I'm talking about it because I'm still processing.
Yeah.
How did I go there? Why did I go there? These are relationships I really value. Yes, I'm right. The cost of being right, there's no reason to be that right. I'm accustomed to being able to shape my boundaries the way that makes me for sure love myself and you. And that wasn't a good example of that. So yeah, we're not there. Or all works in progress. I have to go back at that moment and I get a chance to apologize, and I get a chance to be that sincere about it, authentic about my lesson, and take full responsibility. That will never happen again. That circumstance, that situation will never happen again. I also thought that one would never have happened, right?
True.
So is that chaos? Is that me imagining that I was in control of something and it turned out I wasn't? Yeah, it's all the above. It's the adventure, brother. It's the thing we're here to do, which is fail and succeed and do it in a loving relationship with the only person I spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with, which is me. I gotta live with myself, and I gotta protect my energy. I agree with you that that's important, but I don't think anybody else does it to you. I think we do it to ourselves.
I agree. I appreciate that reframe as I'm thinking it through, because you're right. Sometimes I don't pick up on my vernacular or my language. And you're right. I was pointing the finger there. You're right. I agree with you, man. Appreciate that. Thanks for that little mini session right there, man. Like, I'm feeling energized now. I'm like, all right, yeah, Jim, stop pointing the damn finger. Cancel the meeting if you don't want it, right? And like,
oh gosh, another piece of wisdom from my wife, Jenny. She's practicing this. I have been in parties, and she's the nicest human being on the planet. And if you start talking to her and you're interested, and she'll be with you. And there are people who are so completely dense and so self-absorbed. They're having a conversation with you. They're an energy vampire. You can't get away from them, and that's how they keep you, is by one more and one more and one more. My gosh. So she just decided that she would stop talking, turn her back, and walk away, and see if it was possible for her to do that. I thought, that, for a Southern belle, that's a huge challenge. And she was like all proud of herself, because there's a person that we know who's just unconscious and can't help themselves. And what do? You avoid them. You don't accept the meeting with them. You're in some place where you're going to be together.
you have to. Yeah, you
can't help it. And they're looking for you too. So they, right? And you've got energy. So an energy vampire is going to come to you, right? And I've started being as kind as I can be, but saying things in that conversation that if I heard that said to me, it would stop me dead in my tracks and I would contemplate it, I think. I'd like to believe. And I would recognize a moment that I could adjust and I'd go, oh, wow. Hey, thank you for that feedback. Wow, let me pause and think about that. I would want to disengage. I'd be grateful that I got honest feedback. So I tried that with this person. There's like 4 or 5 people in my universe that I could practice this on. I bet you everybody's got somebody in their universe you could practice on. But just, I'm done. Hey, I got to run. And just leave to protect your energy, to preserve your boundary. That person does not recognize boundaries. There is no boundary you can set with that person and be successful. So just completely leave. Just disengage and stop. And they don't even recognize it happened and they just move on to the next victim. That's something that I didn't ever think about ever. Like I'm mostly interested in a proactive disengagement or a peaceful disengagement or
I want to communication's a strength, so I actually want to tell you. Yeah. And I've had to realize that a lot of people, similar to you, I don't know how some of the people have responded, but that some of the people, when you tell them and you're just direct, I could probably work on how I deliver that message instead of me spending time on working that, knowing that I'm a little bit more direct in those situations. I will turn around and walk away now.
Really? I'm a baby in that practice because I love people and it's really hard.
It's very hard. But also, you and me were together at an experience and an event, and I did that for one of the first times. Someone was engaging in a conversation with me, and I said, I don't want, and the reason why is because there was a limited amount of time at this event to engage with people. And I realized that the more time I spend talking to this person, which I have no interest in, which is okay, and they're not bad, they're very nice, but they're stealing my energy, and I have limited time to go talk to people in this experience right now at this event, and I don't want to talk to you. And that was really hard. And for me, I turned around and I walked away. And I didn't need to address it. I didn't need to make them feel bad. I didn't need to teach them a lesson. My role in that moment was not to teach that man a lesson.
Yeah.
That man is much older than me, number one. That man is doing what he does. Jim Morris isn't his savior. Like, we don't even really know each other. What am I going to change for that person, right? So, like, for me, I said, it's not my responsibility to have a direct conversation. I'm just going to turn around and walk away. The thing that I failed at up until this point, just a couple months ago, was the shame and the guilt for doing that.
Yeah, wow. There you go.
I would do that and I would feel guilty and I'd feel like a bad person. Now, and it's happened again since that one time, and I didn't feel guilt. I didn't feel shameful. I felt that it was the right thing to protect the relationship with myself. And in turn, that is the most important relationship in the world.
It's really revealing.
I don't think and feel free, whoever's listening to this, to cut this up and slander me online or do whatever you need to do, but I don't think it's the relationship upstairs that's the most important. I believe it's the relationship with you, because you can decide to never look upstairs. You can decide to never have conversations. You can decide to never pick up a book, a Bible, whatever. You make that decision here in the conscious today. So I believe that relationship with yourself is more important than the relationship upstairs, because you may never get up there. You may never build that relationship, even though that man loves you unconditionally, no matter what your thoughts are.
Or that woman loves you.
Or that woman loves you. Or whoever, right? That star. Call it what you want. I don't care, right? Like, it doesn't matter to me what the label is on it, but I don't think that, actually. And I take a lot of shit for that. I've had a lot of people come at me for having that opinion, and I own it. I think the most important relationship is the one you have with yourself.
So
let's dive into it if you want to, man.
I think that self is an interesting word. I am not my mind, but it's a tool. I am not my emotions, but they inform me and they're a tool. I have intuition that I might call my gut, that I sometimes listen to, sometimes don't. I think there are signals that come to me from my fingers through touch and my eyes through vision and choices I make that about how I communicate and receive, information from listening and audio, right? All these things that are in the 3D world that are part of this astronaut's body, this thing hurtling through space. This is my mind speaking most of the time. When I'm asleep, where'd my mind go? You know, the self, the awareness behind the living experience. Perhaps that's my soul. I think it's a slice of divinity. And I'm already connected with the quote unquote man upstairs. And I don't need any interpretation or someone to tell me how to get there. I'm already there. I was born there. I wasn't born some tabla rasa, evil sinner thing, whatever the dogma is about. I'm born a child of God and a part of God with a slice of divinity in me. And I think I'm here for the purpose of experiencing joy. And I think other people might be here for the purpose that I can't understand. And they're also a slice of divinity. They're dancing with their darkness as opposed to the light. God bless them. That's an adventure they're here to have. And if I'm listening to what I'd like to believe is my higher self, I'm going to make better decisions. I'm going to dismiss my mental chatter. I'm not going to take on a debate that I don't understand enough to debate somebody over, and I'm not trying to change anybody's mind or their heart or their will.
I've watched you do that. I think it's extremely admirable.
Mm.
And it's something that's taught me a lesson to do the same. So thank you for that gift that you probably didn't even know you've given me. But I've watched you.
Thank you.
Just remove from that. Yeah, I've watched, and I'm like, man, that's powerful. Because of ego and because of urge and because of, well, I have a little piece, but it's like, this isn't the game that I know how to play. I can't act like that. Like, what? Like,
and you just mentioned something that's close to my heart. This isn't a game that I know how to play. What if we went back to when we were children? Like your beautiful daughter and son, and she's just got so much light, and instantly you see this divine little creature, and she doesn't know what a game is. She just plays. We inject on top of play, we inject rules and structure and conditions and the idea of winning and losing in, and so games are no longer fun and play doesn't exist. So gosh, I want to spend more time in my play body and I want to play. It's so much fun. And so sometimes, like, okay, a game is fun and I'm playing it and that's fine. But just, well, how do we just like hang around and play and just enjoy each other's company? You can watch kids do that. I think that's why it keeps us younger to have children or to be around children. I used to be the guy that was, kids are great as long as they're somebody else's. I think, oh, just bring the kids, man. Bring the kids. Bring them over to the party. Let's have some fun.
yeah.
Let's just watch their wander, their sense of wonder as they wander and play.
Isn't it? It's wild for me specific. I mean, I'm in it right now, but
Yeah.
like I'm
knee deep, brother.
I'm watching it and I'm getting a life lesson again, man. Like I am, and I'll share something just before you came here. Caitlin was working, so we have different hours where she works on the business, I work on the business. So I had the kiddos, and it's a dad day today, right? It's Friday, and Caitlin's working downstairs, and we're gonna go food shopping to grab some food, and Ellie's just kind of running around and she's dancing, and I'm like, let's just run around and dance right now. So like me and her just running around the house. She's yelling, I'm yelling, like. You know what I mean? And
Woo-hoo!
then, yeah, just noises like, yeah, woo, yeah. Like just being, period. I was going to complete that sentence, but just being, period. Like we were just being. And man, was it fun? And was it joyful? And was it like something that I want to continue to repeat? Yes, and I'm going to. And it's just, you think about that and it's like, when was the last time that I was just being me and being weird and being funny and being all over the place and doing stupid dance moves? And who cares, right? Why wouldn't I do those things? I'm moving my body. I'm having fun with my daughter. My son's on the floor crawling, eating a piece of bark mulch that came in from the house. And he's giggling and trying, like, making funny noises with us. And it's like, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Absurd in most cases, if from the outside, if you didn't know what we were doing, like, what is that man doing? But like, it's my own beautiful. And it's in my own house. And it's something that I have to appreciate at such a depth that I don't think I've ever have. And
thanks for sharing that.
You're right. It makes you young because it brings you back to those moments. And I'll also say this, there's moments that bring me back to things that I didn't like as a kid growing up. And there's that generational trauma things that come up, like where I'm like, I wanted to say something the other day, like, can everybody just chill the fuck out? Because my dad used to say that all the time. And I'm like, I don't even feel that, but it's in my brain and I almost wanted to say it, right? And it's like, wow, this is a beautiful moment. I am not going to do that. I have control over my thoughts. I know where they came from, so I get why this popped in my head. Yeah. I don't even talk like that. Like, I would never say that to an employee, but I almost wanted to just blow up and say it to my family. Like, what? So I see these kids are bringing back these amazing memories of childhood, these memories that I've experienced that maybe weren't so great, and I'm having presence in it before I act on it. And I think that's something that I never would have realized before, the good and the bad. But that play factor, man, it's just so crazy to me that we've lost so much of it. And now what I'm doing, and I'm trying to help people reinvigorate their dreams. Like, I've got a dinner tomorrow night, and I do this experience called Beyond the Table. And I was talking to someone yesterday, and they're coming to the dinner Saturday, and we were doing a walk around downtown. And I said, man, what are your dreams? When was the last time you built a plan around them? Or like, hey, I want to go this way or that way. Or, hey, maybe I need this person or need that to potentially get to this stage. And it hit me. I said, from about 12 to 32, I didn't have dreams, nor did I think about them. And he was like, same. And I thought about that, and I was like, why? Why do we lose that as we get older? And it's society. It's the loss of individualization. It's the loss of own thought. I have this thought and I want to do this, but I can't act on it because I'm going to get judged, or it may not fit into the norm. And as I was trying to think about that, and then I was thinking back about some of the last feedback we had about the last dinner. That's the biggest thing that people are getting over in these dinners, is sharing a dream that's your own. And then changing it as we move through different courses of a meal, because you've heard everybody else share. And you start to pull pieces and you start to really think, is that really what I want? And it starts to morph and it starts to clarify. And it's not that identity stage, it's that clarification. And then you leave this dinner with that experience of, I started with thinking this was my wildest dream, but yet because of this collective experience and this deep dive into human connection and sharing, now I've elevated and upgraded it to this, because this is really what I wanted. This is what's deep down in my heart that took 2 or 3 iterations to get to.
Yeah,
and I
just
think we
2 or
don't,
3.
And I don't think we get to that. And I don't know of a space that allows us to share that. So I decided to create it.
That's cool. I've heard about it. I haven't been to one of these. Let's go refine some new vision, brother.
Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. All right, I know we're nearing to the end of the episode, but there is one last burning question I do have for you, and I want to dive into it. So you've built businesses, you've been investors, you own real estate, you come up with concepts that are unique. You have this philosophical approach, this methodical approach. Like, when you talk, there's depth and there's levels to that depth. And I can see it, I can feel it. We've engaged in long conversations. We've shared car rides home together, right?
Yeah. We got windshield time.
We've hit it, right? Why is depth so important to you? And why do you only engage in conversations where you have that level of depth?
I look in your eyes and I see divinity, and I believe you are experiencing life as me, with me. I am you and you are me, and that is all we need to be. And I believe that you are me. So why wouldn't I treat you with love and depth and be like present? Spent a long time, way too much time, not present. So when I see people who are not present, they're just not available. And when I see people who are present, I recognize it. I would rather be present. It's not depth. I'm not trying to sell anybody anything or do anything or make anything happen. I'm just here. I can have a conversation with anybody about anything. I can disengage from a conversation that isn't within my boundaries. I can't love that person and myself at the same time. So is it a reflection or is it depth, right? Or are we all one? And if we're all one, then it's pretty much the only thing I'm interested in is your perspective that you have gained in your life that was led completely separate and away from mine. But when we recombine someday, when we go back to the one, all your experiences will be mine.
You said presence because you weren't present for a long time. It's when you were a little choked up there. Is that something that you regret not being present?
No. I don't value presence as much as without the comparison of being unpresent. So I understand when someone else is not present and I don't judge them for it. And I've stopped judging myself for being not present when I was. That can happen today or tomorrow. My mind will be somewhere else and I'm not present. So it's really a constant gift to be in the present. The reason people don't have dreams, I think, is because they're judging themselves. And other people judging me is irrelevant to me. I can't control that. I don't have their perspective that gave them somehow the privilege to judge me. And they don't know anything about me. So it's not wise and it's irrelevant. What's relevant is me judging myself so harshly, so often, pushing myself so hard for so long that I value being relaxed. So I think there is no black without white. The darkness is not aware of the light. Light is not aware of darkness. There's a positive pole, there's a negative pole. We live in this duality world. And I think there's a lot of value to being able to reflect now on what was the price of not being present. That's too bad. That's not happening right now. Stop judging yourself over that. Live right here in the moment. So when I get a chance to go deep with somebody, man, I'm there.
Yeah.
Because I'm really curious about your experience and why something matters to you. And I'm going to learn something from that. And if I don't know it now, maybe when we go back to the one, I'll figure it out together with you.
I love it, man. Thanks for being here today. Thanks for carving out some time. And thanks for
Yeah.
going deep, as always, brother.
Wow. It's a pleasure.